Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Million Dollar Media. I'm your host Max Kellerhalls, and I'm doing a little something different. This is not a review, and this is not a retrospective. This is a announcement for the cast of the Fantastic Four. We used to do a lot of movie news videos back in the day. So if you go to like the early stuff, you'll see that we did a lot of movie news content, or at least wanting to do more of that. So you'll see like a movie news thing, and then like review next to it, but that kind of went away. If they came to the video to see what the topic was, and that's it. So we just moved away from that. But I wanted to talk about this because it's pretty significant news in the world of like not only comic book films, superhero films, but just in movie news in general, is the cast of the Fantastic Four. There's been so many theories and rumors about who's going to be playing who for years now, and ever since this movie was announced, everybody's been asking, okay, who are going to be playing the Fantastic Four? Because in Doctor Strange, we just got to see John Krasinski as Reed Richards, and for what it was nice to see him as Reed Richards because it was the fan casting come to life, and they scratched that itch for a lot of people, and I'm glad they did that. That's really cool. But the cast goes as such. Now, I may be butchering some of these people's names, especially one particular guy. But the cast goes as such. You have Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. You have Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch. And Eben Moss Bachrach. If I butchered his name, I apologize. Playing Ben Grimm, the Thing. And this movie is going to be directed by Matt Shakman, who did a couple episodes of, I think he directed most of the episodes of WandaVision. So this movie's in good hands, to say the least. All right, I'm just gonna go over like my thoughts on the casting so far. I think we're gonna start off with Vanessa Kirby because of all the casting, this is the best from comic to screen casting I could think of. Vanessa Kirby is one of those actresses who has great range and picks a lot of movies where she can show off her talent as an actress, but also her talent in that she can take a really bad script and a really dumb fun movie and bring a little bit of charm to it and know how to play within the world that is set up in that film. The examples I go to, you see her in the recent Napoleon film. You see her in Mission Impossible movies, and she's also in Hobbs and Shaw. I think she's a fantastic actress, and I'm really glad that she's playing Sue Storm. One other thing that I do like is someone pointed out that how cool is it that this character was created by Jack Kirby and that one of the actresses is named Vanessa Kirby. I think that's a really cool little fun coincidence. I just think it's cool. This is my of all the casting that I've heard, this is probably the best one that's on this list. The next best one, in my opinion, is an actor that I've seen in a little bit of stuff, and that is Eben Moss Bachrach as the Thing. Now, I have not seen The Bear, but I've seen clips, and I think he really brings it in The Bear. But what I have seen him in is Andor and The Punisher, which is also weird because that's a Marvel thing, and this is in the same continuity. I don't know. Maybe they're just identical twins. I don't know. I don't care. The actor's good. But one of the things that I like is like he just has this natural gruffness and toughness, and like he looks like a guy who was raised on the streets and gives that attitude of that, but he still has a caring enough personality to not beat up on the little guy, and he'll be very protective, but he just won't deal with anybody's shit, which I feel like is a good interpretation for the Thing. One other thing, ironic, that I do like is that he is a Jewish actor, and because the character is Jewish, and that is just part of the character that's stood the test of time for many years, and it's just nice that they got an actor who is also Jewish to play this character. I think he's going to be really great. I don't know what design they're going to go for with the Thing. From the artwork that they're kind of releasing with the 60s style, it looks like the classic Thing with the giant unibrow kind of look that's made out of rock, and the big grumpy like frowny face the entire time. I wouldn't mind that look. I would prefer if they do CG, honestly, because as much as I appreciate Michael Chiklis in the original Fantastic Four movies going practical, it looked like rubber, and he looks small for what the character should be. So I would want them to make the Thing big and imposing. Like, the Thing is a character that can go toe to toe with Hulk and Thor. Like, that is very important to like get right. Like, he's a big freaking dude. So I'm hoping that they do CG and they give the artist time to make it look good. Like, and I also don't want him to look like Korg. Like, Korg can look like a cartoon sometimes. I'm hoping they go with a design that's instantly recognizable but unique. And I really think that they're gonna do a good job with that. The next casting that I have no real thoughts on, just because I haven't seen the show or much anything this actor's been in, is Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. Now, a lot of people are giving this actor a lot of weird hate online for being the Human Torch, and they're saying like, "Oh, he's not pretty enough. He's not handsome enough. He's not hot enough to be Johnny Storm. Like, he needs to be a hothead and arrogant and like stuff like that." And like Joseph Quinn's like 30, and like, dude, like actors fake their age all the fucking time on film. No one is their age in film. Hell, 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds play teenagers sometimes. It doesn't really matter that much. And I'll go into this more later about what I think the style of the film is going to be in. But I feel like for the 60s style they're going for, he looks like a 60s, maybe even 50s, like Steve McQueen style, like handsome, rogue, rebel kind of guy, which I feel like would be good for a Johnny Storm. He can bleach his hair a bit, or he could keep his hair normal. I don't really care. And from what I remember of like when we did the Stranger Things season 4 review, everybody on that video seemed to really enjoy his character, and he brought a lot to that character, and he has a lot of energy. I think it's going to be really good. And I'm also curious how they're going to do the Human Torch effect, because despite what you say about the Fan 4 stick that came out in 2015, I do like the look of the Human Torch in that film. I like the black silhouette with the flames around it. Maybe they could go with a red silhouette and the flames around it. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like the man made out of flame look, where like you see each individual like bit of like you see his nose and all that. I like the burnt mannequin look, I guess you could say. That's always been my favorite version of the Human Torch. It also kind of throws back to the first Human Torch in the comics, which was an android, and it's also referenced in Captain America. You can see it there. Which now if this film is going to be taking place in the 60s, so who knows? Maybe they might tie that back around. That'd be really cool. All right, this is the big one. This is the casting that everybody is either really cool with or complaining about. Is Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. Okay, I'm just going to say right off the bat, I think this is really good casting. I feel like Pedro Pascal is one of the most versatile actors and has demonstrated the most range out of any actor working today, at least in big budget stuff. He has shown me how far he can push his acting ability. You got Mandalorian. He plays the gruff Western. In Last of Us, he's the soulless but trying to regain his humanity man who has nothing kind of character, the lone wolf kind of character from in Lone Wolf and Cub kind of sense. And then he can do the unbearable weight of massive talent. Like, he's great in that film. He steals the show, and that has Nicolas fucking Cage in it. Like, he's that good. Like, he's a very good actor, and like, I think this gives him a chance to play, well, ironically, another daddy character, depending on if they do Franklin Richards in this film, but in a way that's more nerdy and maybe not as gruff. I don't think he's going to bring his Joel and Mando voice to this. I think he's going to bring his more natural voice, his normal voice to this, where he has a very high pitched voice in real life and he has a very bubbly personality. It could work for Mr. Fantastic because Mr. Fantastic like his powers, he could be taken and stretched in so many different ways. He could be a really charming husband and loving father in one scene, and then he could be the biggest dick imaginable and egotistical asshole. And I feel like Pedro Pascal can play any of the versions they're wanting to play. I would prefer the more loving husband and father kind of style of Mr. Fantastic. We already had the jerky asshole versions in the 2005 that version and the Miles Teller version in the 2015 movie. So I really want to see a different version of Mr. Fantastic, and I think that's what they're giving us. And another thing is, I'm gonna make it about race, but it's so just bear with me. But I like that they went for a more for a South American Hispanic kind of version of this character. He's from Chile, or yeah, he's Pedro Pascal. It says here he's born in Chile. Well, the reason why I like it is if they're going to be setting the film in the '60s, I think this is a good way to compare it to the Lucille Ball Desi Arnaz kind of relationship, where it's like a white blonde woman marrying a Hispanic male. I think that can be the image. Maybe it doesn't end in 3 years like the real life marriage, but it's kind of that image, which I kind of appreciate. And it also kind of reminds me of like the film Babylon, which we did review, where it was like a Hispanic male and a white woman getting together, and I think that's cool. I don't know. It's a different take. I don't think the character's ever been portrayed as Hispanic in the comics. I'm not sure, but the imagery there will really go well for like the '60s setting because you can just compare it to like the Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz kind of relationship. Now, I don't know much about that relationship, mostly just based on appearances. That's what I'm going off of here because it's film, it's imagery, but that's what I'm just saying. I feel like if you connect it that way, you can buy into like, okay, that's how this relationship works in the '60s. And also like this gives Marvel the chance to have like a Hispanic lead in a film because they don't have one. Like the most like Hispanic thing that they've had in the past is fucking Luis from Ant-Man. Like that's the best you guys got. And Luis is awesome, but he's not a main character. He's not a hero. This is Mr. fucking Fantastic. Like he is his name is in the fucking team. Like you can't get any more leading man than that. So yeah, I think that's really cool that they're like that they did it. And Pedro Pascal again, great actor. So win-win all around in my opinion. I really like it. I know a lot of people have said like they're kind of tired of seeing him everywhere. I'm not. Quite frankly, I like seeing him and stuff. I like seeing what weird thing he's gonna do next. Okay, that's my thoughts on the casting. Just gonna talk about like the imagery that we saw. Is that, yeah, the film is gonna be taking place in the '60s. So my hope for this is that the film feels like a mix between the classic Lost in Space Star Trek era kind of sci-fi, where it's like a group of people go out to space and have adventures. And I want that to be mixed with the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Incredible style team and relationship dynamic. And I don't want like Guardians of the Galaxy style humor. The movie has to be funny. That's what I'm gonna say. Like I know people are sick of like Marvel jokes and all that stuff, but it's the Fantastic Four. They're family. One of the things in the comics is the relationship between Ben Grimm and Johnny Storm, and they're butting heads all the time. So I think that like the film has to be funny. So I'm hoping that this with this style, they can like really make this just a really fun sci-fi adventure in the style of like yeah, just those old 60s sci-fi, and that's really cool. And like I'm looking forward to seeing what this film is going to have in store. Like some images that I've seen online are like the Fantastic Four having like the Jetsons car or something like that. I'm like, sure, why not make the Fantastic Four, the Fantastic car like a fucking Jetson style car? That's cool. There's a couple rumors online about who the villain of the film is. If it is Galactus, I think that's okay because someone brought up like on Twitter, and I totally agree with it. It's that Galactus is not a character you set up over multiple films. He's not that deep. He comes in, eats planets, leaves. Now they could make him deeper than that, but I highly doubt it. Like I hope if they do Galactus, one, give him that big purple helmet. I want to see Galactus. I don't want to see a fucking cloud. Yeah, I don't know. Like then who do you get to play the Silver Surfer? That's a big freaking casting deal. And like that's a big character you have to get right. And that's a pivotal character in like the whole cosmic side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the Marvel Universe in the comics. And then yeah, and then the other thing I've heard is that they're wanting to cast Doctor Doom. At the moment, I have no idea who can play him. Every actor that I thought could play him has played a Marvel role in the past, and I highly doubt that they'll bring the actor back for that reason. Um, yes, I would think Ben Mendelsohn would play a really good Doctor Doom. Yes, I do think Mads Mikkelsen would make a great Doctor Doom. Yes. However, there are already characters in the universe, so I don't know any like big European stars that can play like Eastern European stars that can play this character. Who knows? Maybe they might just go for an unknown. Like that'd be cool. Just like get an unknown actor who'd be willing to like not show his face on screen. One other actor that I heard kind of being tossed around was Cillian Murphy, which I highly doubt that Cillian Murphy is going to want to go back to a comic book property in which his character's face is going to be covered by a metal mask. But who knows? He could, and if he was Doctor Doom, great casting still. He's a little small and frail for my liking for Doctor Doom, but I don't know. He's a great actor though. Maybe he can use the voice and get a body double. I don't know. But yeah, Doctor Doom is an all-time favorite villain. He's just like the ultimate like, oh, he can do what now? Like he's got fucking pieces of the true cross in his armor to protect him from vampires. He's got ridiculous shit going on in the comics. There's one panel that I saw where he fucking rips Thanos' spine out. Like it's crazy. Doctor Doom is just a really cool character, and I with the casting announced here, I'm positive that whoever they get to play Doctor Doom is going to be really good. And I'm just going to leave it off on this because I think it's funny. I saw a casting online for like who do people want to play Herbie, the little robot that's always tagging along with the Fantastic Four. Someone said Tom Kenny, and I think I can't get that out of my head now. Like it has to be Tom Kenny. I know people want Bill Hader or something like that, but no, Tom Kenny would be really good as this character. Because if you get a big popular like no, Tom Kenny is a popular actor. He's fucking SpongeBob. I don't know. I am looking forward to this film. This cast is amazing. If you want me to do more videos like this where a big popular movie news thing comes out and you want to hear my thoughts on it, let me know in the comments. I think the next big video where I'll be like, I'll have to do a casting announcement for that is who they're going to get to play the Batman in James Gunn's universe. Because that's going to be a big freaking deal. I don't know. I'm looking forward to who they're going to get to play that. So yeah, that's all I got to say. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Follow us on Patreon, where you get to see a lot of uncut content. And yeah, that's all really I got to say. Or share this video around if you agreed with my opinions. Send them to other people. That way they can debate me in the comments. Because I really want to hear your guys' opinions. Like, do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm out of line? Do you agree with me on the whole like aspect of like Hispanic male, white female kind of thing? I think that's a really cool like thing to incorporate in the film. But yeah, I hope you all have a good day, and yeah, bye.